Hey guys, it is Tyler Davis, your local lender here with Cross Country Mortgage in Fort Wayne, Indiana, back with another episode of Physically Fit. I want to talk about something that I'm sure you guys have all heard. There's a big buzzword, whether we're talking about health and nutrition. I mean, really, we hear it all over the place, and that is macros, macronutrients. So what does that really even mean? And why should it even matter to you? Why are there always people in the health and fitness industry talking about macros and all these different things? So let's just break it down in a really plain and simple way. Why should it matter to you? And what's it all about? So what macronutrients are is really, there's three main categories that a lot of times we're going to focus on, and that is protein, fats, and carbohydrates. So I'm sure you have seen in all the marketing over the years, there's different types of diets where it will either, kind of focus in on one of those three, or will actually focus in on removing one of those three. Pros and cons to all that stuff. But really, the way our bodies are designed, it needs everything. It needs all three of those. And then there's also micronutrients and different things like that, which is going to be your vitamins, minerals, vegetables, and all that stuff. But that's for another one. Today, we're just going to talk about macros. Because all the time you hear in this, like, if it fits in my macros, or hey bro, what are your macros? I always like to use the analogy of a vehicle. And why a vehicle? Because there are some major components that create a vehicle and help make it go down the road. Of the three macronutrients, one that people never get enough of, when I'm working with clients that I always talk about and then we always need to focus on, everybody needs to focus on getting more protein. Why protein? So in the vehicle analogy, protein is going to be the metals, the nuts, the bolts, the sheet metal, the stuff that protects you, everything that makes up the physical aspect of that car. In the same way that protein makes up your muscles, makes up all the different essential parts of your body, like your bones need it, your muscles need it. It's the building blocks of your body. So your body needs to have sufficient amounts of protein to have enough skeletal muscle mass, all those different things that are so important on keeping your body healthy and strong, carrying that muscle. The more muscle you have, the more efficiently your body is going to burn and utilize calories. And we're always talking about total calories. The more muscle you carry, so the more protein you're taking so you can build that muscle, the more efficiently your body is going to burn calories. So next up in the vehicle analogy is going to be fats. So fats are going to be like the oil that you put in the engine to make sure it goes. It's going to be the lubricants that go in there, whether it's transmission fluid, brake fluid, all these different fluids to make sure that there's no friction built up and burn things up. So fats in your body, it doesn't just equate to like body fat. It is like the lubricants to keep your joints lubricated and healthy. It's good for brain function, all that. I mean, one of the vitamins that everybody should be taking is a fish oil. Aside from that, you should be taking in like raw tree nuts, almonds, cashews, peanuts. Avocados are another great source of healthy fats. Your body needs this. Just like the vehicle, if you run out of oil, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna seize up. Things aren't gonna work right. It's gonna break down. The last macronutrient that I want to talk about, and this is one that if you're my age, I'm almost 42. So there used to be something called the Atkins diet where it really focused on eliminating carbohydrates. But let's talk about that. What are carbohydrates for your body and equivalent to the vehicle? Well, that's the gasoline. That's the fuel. If you've ever ran your car or vehicle out of gas, what happens? It ain't going nowhere. Same thing for your body. So especially if you're working out and you're reducing carbohydrates, yes, if you have a significant amount of body fat to lose, because really what body fat or adipose tissue is it's just excess storage of calories. So if your body takes in more calories per day than it expends, and you do that day after day after day after day, the compound effect, eventually your body has to store the excess energy somewhere, and it does that as body fat. So again, if you eliminate carbohydrates in the beginning, when let's say you have 50 pounds to lose or something like that, you're gonna lose a lot really quick because your body is then forced to tap into that excess energy that it has. And that's why a lot of times that will happen pretty quick in the beginning, but then over time it might start to slow down. So your body needs an adequate amount of carbohydrates, just like the vehicle needs an adequate amount of fuel or gasoline to keep going down the road. A lot of times people will, when they have health and fitness goals, they'll focus on carbohydrates or fats are all bad, and then when they remove that certain one, carbohydrates, for example, you feel really sluggish. Your brain doesn't function as well. You can't fuel through a workout the same way. You just don't feel as energized. And a lot of times, if you're just trying to make that up with extra protein, your body is going to actually do something inside chemically to break that protein down into energy. And so that protein won't even go to help build the muscle like what you're planning on it doing. The body's really smart. God designed this machine, which is this human vehicle, which is why I like to compare the macros to the vehicle analogy. It knows what it needs. And just like we talk about from the physical side of things, just like the anatomy of a loan is the loan chair. It needs all of the four legs to stand on its own. That's what makes a strong and powerful loan or loan chair. Just in the same way that your body, the vehicle for your soul, whatever you want to call it, needs all three macronutrients. You shouldn't focus on cutting one of those out. You need the protein, you need the fats, you need the carbohydrates. What you need to do is figure out the ratio of those that you need for your body, your bio-individuality, and your goals. What are your health goals? What are your fitness goals? That's why it's so important. I'm going to shout out to all the folks over at Triumph. They have one of the most solid nutrition coach teams over there. So like if you need somebody to guide you, reach out to the ladies over there, to the guys. They'll definitely get you on point. What you want to do is find a local health store or Triumph Fitness here in Fort Wayne. Go there and use their InBody machine, which is going to break down your body and tell you just kind of where you're at baseline, and that will give a nutrition coach something to kind of know what your body is looking for. But the main thing is to understand what these macronutrients are and why they're important. So to recap, protein, that is the metal of the vehicle, all that physical stuff. Fats for your body are the same thing as the oil and the lubricants. Carbohydrates for your body, that is gasoline. That is straight up energy. So just like the anatomy of a loan chair, you need all four legs. Your body needs all three of these macronutrients. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you have a better understanding of macronutrients and why you should understand what they are. And if you need some help, reach out, find a nutrition coach. It's definitely worth the money. As much as I make my physical fitness a daily priority, I prioritize the health and wellness of my clients and agent partners' mortgage lending experience. I'm always prepared for my next opportunity to help. If you ever want to learn more, I'm here as a resource. You can call, text, or email. And when you're ready to get started, I can be found at loanswithtyler.com.